many of you may already have your own cue stick, but what I'd like to do now is I'd like to show you some elements of buying a cue if you don't have one, or if you already have one and you want to look for another one. So let's just show you a few elements to look for when you're trying to purchase a cue stick. Basically on the table we have two cues. One is just kind of a plain cue stick. It doesn't have a lot of fancy inlay or anything to it. And the other one is one of the more exotic cue sticks with special inlays and woods. No matter which of the butts you're using here, you still want to have basically a shaft that would be very similar to this. This is a maple shaft. This is a very solid, hard wood. There are some soft woods in the game called ramen wood. You don't want to get those, but you want to have either a maple shaft like this, or you want to have maple wood that's covered with fiberglass. So let's just say, for instance, in a Q-Tech version. You also have out here the tip. The tip in most cases should be anywhere from a hard to a medium hard tip, usually made out of leather. There are some tips that are made out of phenolic, but for beginning cue sticks, you want to generally stay with a leather tip. Then as you come back to the joint of the cue stick, basically these have what they call collar rings on them. Those will help preserve the wood. When you break, it has a tendency for the wood to split. The collar has a tendency to preserve the wood around the joint area. And basically that's going to be the same on all cue sticks you look at. There are a few minor exceptions where we have steel, but in most cases it's a plastic collar ring. As you come back from the joint of the butt now on this particular cue, you'll have again here, you'll have a phenolic or what's called a Delron material holding the stud in here. And on this one over here you'll have metal, both of which are very effective. Coming back toward the wrap area, you have a wrap. This happens to be leather and this is leather, but in the beginning stages of your game you might want to start with either nylon or you might want to have Irish linen. Leather has a tendency to absorb some moisture, and Irish linen actually absorbs the most moisture in your hands. So if your hands perspire a lot, you might want to consider going to an Irish linen wrap. And then on the very back end of the cue stick, you'll have a bumper down here, which is designed to create a vibration inhibitor to your cue. In other words, when you take your cue stick and put it on the floor, this helps absorb some of the shock so as to eliminate the back end of your cue splitting or cracking out. So this basically on this cue here is kind of a plain cue stick. This one on the left here has a lot more inlays and it runs a lot more expensive range of styles. So in other words, this cue might range anywhere from $700 to $1,500. This one would range anywhere from $75 to $150. So these are just a few examples of some of the things to look for when buying a cue stick. So the next time you're out there and you want to enjoy the game a little bit more, go out and look for these features in your cue, and you'll enjoy the game a whole lot more, according to Dr. Field.
If you're looking for a great way to have fun, meet new people, and play some pool, join an APA Pool League today. Visit us online at poolplayers.com.